Welcome inside Jefferson High School. Girls basketball tonight on BEC-TV. Glad you're watching live here on your Tuesday night. Josh Powers along with our crew. The Chaska Hawks, the visitors tonight, taking on the Jefferson Jaguars. Jefferson coming in with a record of 8-13 overall. Chaska 7-15. Both these teams in the Metro West. They did meet earlier this year with Chaska winning at home by a score of 66-51. Destiny Bursch leading Chaska in that one earlier in the year with 18 points. Caroline Anderson had 16 for the Jaguars in defeat. It's kind of been a tale of two halves for both of these teams. Chaska started 2-13, but have won 5 out of the last 7. Jefferson, by the way, just one win in its last 10. So hopefully that will change direction for the Jaguars tonight. The Jefferson Jaguars trying to capture their third win in conference. Chaska 6-4. They have a chance to finish in the top half of the league. We'll send it down now for our national anthem here at Jefferson High School. All right, so we will meet the starters for each team here tonight. Chaska, a very young team. They have just 3 seniors. Their leading scorers, they have a trio of underclassmen leading scorers that are in 9th or 8th grade, and we'll talk about them as each of them come out. There is number 1, Destiny Bursch, the freshman 5'7" guard for Chaska, and on the other side, Jefferson's leading scorer, number 2, Caroline Anderson at 14.5 points per game for the Jaguars. There's number 14 for Chaska, Kaylee Van Epps. She is a freshman. She is second on the team in points at 11.6. Bursch, by the way, third on the team at 9.5. There's the Jaguars' number 4, Claire Bannigan, the co-captain, senior, 5'8". For Chaska, number 21, Marissa Grothy. She is a 6'2" junior, and on the Jaguars, Logan Mahoney, junior, 6 foot, number 11. For the Hawks, number 24, their leading scorer, Mallory Hires. She is an 8th grader, averaging 13.3 points per game, and on the other side, Alyssa Felt for the Jaguars, a junior, number 25. Rounding out the starting lineup for Chaska, Veronica Quinn. She's a 5'8" junior, averaging 3.5 points per game. And on the other side for the Jaguars, Sam Sunnerborg, the junior co-captain for the Jaguars at 5'10" tall, wearing number 32. Sam averaging 7.4 points per game. So we are just about ready to go. The trio of Chaska Hawks, 2 9th graders and an 8th grader, combining to score more than 33 points per game for the Hawks team this season. And for the Jaguars, also a very young team. We mentioned 4 captains, but just 3 captains, 3 seniors on the roster, and only 1 in the starting lineup for the Jaguars, Claire Bannigan. So both these teams very young, both looking to pick up a key win for them as we head down the stretch. We'll talk about potential playoff implications as we continue to go along tonight. The Jaguars in the home Columbia blue with the white trim, and the Chaska Hawks in the road white with the purple and gold trim. Mahoney to jump for the Jaguars, and Mallory Heyer, the 6-foot-tall 8th grader, to jump for the Hawks. Underway from Jefferson High School as the Jaguars have first possession tonight into the hands of Claire Bannigan. And there's Caroline Anderson. We saw her struggle against Kennedy last week as the Jaguars were really held in check, lost that game 43-33. Offense has been a bit of a struggle for the Jaguars here recently. We'll talk about that. So if they can hit some outside shots tonight, that will be helpful. As on the drive, Caroline Anderson gets the Jaguars off to a good start tonight. Leading 2-0, 30 seconds into this first half as Destiny Birch, the freshman point guard, brings it up for the Hawks. Jefferson starting in a zone, trying to defend against the 6-footer Heyer inside. They did a nice job on her in the first matchup. On the inside, an easy short shot bits by Van Epps. Rebound controlled by Van Epps as she loses control, and this jump ball will keep it right here with Chaska on the arrow. Talking about Heyer in that first matchup, she had just 7 points, did Mallory Heyer. Well below her season average of 13.3, which leads Chaska. The Hawks lost 11 of their first 13 games for head coach Tara Seifert, but have rattled off 5 victories in their last 7, most of those coming in conference. Van Epps, baseline, left it short, and Alyssa Felt takes down the rebound. As we mentioned, Anderson really struggled in the game against Kennedy, was held without a field goal. All of her points coming from the line. She's already bettered that tonight as she's double teamed. The kick out to Logan Mahoney. She's second on the team in points as Mahoney at 8.5 points per game. And a bad pass to Alyssa Felt. Out of play, a turnover on the Jaguars. 90 seconds into this first half, the Jaguars have a 2-0 lead. Quinn sends it back for a 3-pointer for Birch. Back of the rim, no, and Bannigan had the rebound tipped away from her, but they say off of Bannigan somehow. New Jaguar head coach in his first year. Cannot believe that one, of course. That's Paul Lambrecht taking over for Andy Meinhardt. Off a missed shot, Bannigan the rebound, and Sonnerborg got blocked by Heyer, but regains possession. And the junior captain for the Jaguars, only junior with that distinction, sends it to Bannigan. On the inside, Logan Mahoney on a nice move, and she was fouled by Marissa Grothy, the tallest player for Chaska, number 21. As you watch the nice move by Mahoney to get around Grothy. 2 free throws for Logan Mahoney. You mentioned she's the second leading scorer for the Jaguars. Their offense has really struggled here in this recent losing streak. The Jaguars just 1-9 in their last 10 games. They had 30 points on Friday against Cooper in a 48-30 loss. We mentioned the 33 against Kennedy. Their last 2 losses prior to that, 43 and 45 points. So the Jaguars just once in their last 6 have crossed the 50-point barrier. That was a 66-65 win against Richfield as Chaska turns it over. Good defense for the Jaguars here, 2 minutes plus in, not surrendering a Chaska point. Now they have played good defense in that losing stretch. They only gave up 43 to Kennedy, 48 to Cooper, 46 to Benil. That was a 1-point loss, and 51 to Chan. So it hasn't been like teams have been lighting up the Jaguars either. They've been low-scoring losses. Mahoney, a nice up fake. The runner down the lane, off glass too strong. And those are opportunities that the Jaguars are going to need to finish tonight. Not an easy shot for Mahoney, but one she's going to make far more often than she misses right there. Off the hands, down low of Grothy, out of bounds, in a second consecutive Chaska turnover. The Hawks coming off a 68-41 win against St. Louis Park. Last time out Tough scoop shot there for Bannigan amid a double team. Jefferson pressuring the rebound as it's bounced off of the leg of Alyssa Felt. And Chaska will get possession back. The Hawks, we mentioned, they've won 5 out of the last 7. That included that 66-51 over Jefferson. They beat Chan 56-48, Richfield 68-38, and Kennedy 53-40. In the corner, Bursch. Good collapsing defense by the Jaguars, and they'll apparently no jump ball. The Jaguars would have had it anyway, but now they keep the arrow as Alyssa Felt with the hustle to cause a 3rd consecutive Chaska Hawk turnover. They're scoreless through the first 3.5 minutes. Mahoney on the pick and roll had it partially blocked down low by Grothy, and a 4th straight Hawk turnover as Bursch, bothered by the pressure of Bannigan, traveled. So the Jaguars a chance to extend this lead here with the Hawk offense struggling. Jefferson missing some close-in chances. Mahoney can't get the roll. Sonnerborg has it back. Anderson on the drive, and the runner too strong, taken down by Heyer. Here's Bursch. Knocked away from behind by Anderson, and another turnover. That's 5 straight turnovers by Chaska. First sub off the bench for the Hawks is a rare senior for them, one of just 5 on the roster, Grace Olson. Olson averaging 2.6 points per game. Sonnerborg had that shot altered by the presence of the 6'2" tall Grothy, who's been bothersome down low early for Jefferson. They've gotten the ball into the paint with relative ease, but then Grothy or Heyer has been down there. Olson baseline, here's Quinn, and the first points for Chaska. On the arcing baseline shot from Veronica Quinn, and the Jaguars lead cut to 3-2. 13:45 left in the first half as that's off of Quinn and out of play. Tough catch by Sonnerborg, an even tougher pass intercepted by Heyer. Van Epps bringing it up with the left hand. Zone defense has worked out well for Jefferson so far. Looks like a 1-3-1 trap for the Jaguars here defensively for Paul Lambrecht. That skip corner look is open for Chaska, but it takes a while for that pass to arc over there. Nice catch down low by Van Epps, and she lays it in to give the Hawks their first lead at 4-3. And Quinn unable to keep it alive there for the Hawks. That was a tough pass to Van Epps. It had to be perfectly arced in there with 2 Jaguar defenders ready to swat it away. That's a low percentage pass the Jaguars allowing there. Sonnerborg, another close-in miss for Jefferson. That was part of their struggles against Kennedy. They were able to get it down low, but then the Eagles had so many knockaways, deflections, block shots down there. Good defense by Bannigan, coming away with a steal, another Chaska turnover. That's at least 7 for them here in the early going. We're a little more than 7 minutes in. Feld baseline triple teamed and a travel. Jaguars might want to think about settling for some mid-range jumpers here. They have had some driving lanes, and instead of maybe pulling up for a short 10 to 12 footer, trying to take it in down low against the tall bigs for the Hawks. Van Epps, Olson, new player in Nicole Lenzen, a junior number 15 in the corner for Chaska. Quinn sends it to Olson. 12 minutes remaining first half. We anticipated a low-scoring game. We've got it so far. Olson connects on a 3. So Grace Olson hits the first 3-pointer for either team, and the Hawks lead up to 4 with 11:50 remaining in the first half. Jefferson had just 6 first-half points against Kennedy last week. And they're halfway through that number so far. Bannigan got it up and over. Higher, no good. Tipped up and in by Sutterborg. And that was a nice decision because she wasn't going to have a lot of time if she came down with it as Chaska travels on the other end. So we'll see if that kick starts the Jaguar offense, now trailing 7-5 with 11:24 left first half. Lauren Snyder is in with the ball for Jefferson, number 34. Snyder is a 5'10 junior. As Megan Roach, also in number 21, has it at the top of the key for the Jaguars. Roach is a 5'7 junior as well, number 21. Nice pump fake. Anderson finds Bannigan open for 3, wide right. And Anderson tracked down the rebound. There's that quickness of Caroline Anderson on display. Watch her sneak in for that rebound right there. And drew the foul on Van Epps from behind. So Jefferson's leading scorer can even it up here at the free throw line. Caroline Anderson averaging 14.5 points per game. She had 31 in a game earlier this year, and take that into reference, the Jaguars had just 33 in last Monday's game that you saw on BEC-TV, and then lost to Kennedy. And the Jaguars missing that free throw, so still 7-6 Chaska. As Bursch on the inside, and the first basket for Heyer. The leading scorer, 8th grader Mallory Heyer. That could explain part of the early struggles, as Chaska was 2-13 in their first 15 games. Their 3 leading scorers, 1 not even at the high school level, and the other 2 freshmen. A 3-point miss by Anderson, but the rebound cannot be controlled by Bursch, out of bounds to the Jaguars, with 10:24 left in the first half. Snyder a quick rest here as she heads off. Back in is Mahoney. Quickly on the inside, Sutterborg kicks it back out. Mahoney, 3-pointer short, may have been partially blocked as Olsen has the rebound. Quickly ahead. This is Lenzen baseline, cut off nicely by Anderson as Roach almost came up with a steal. In is Danny Reef, number 55, has it baseline for Chaska into Heyer, hook shot, no, but a foul. Danny Reef, a 5'6 junior for Chaska. The points per game get pretty sparse once you get past the big 3 of Heyer, Bursch, and Van Epps, and technically Reef averaging the 4th most on the team, but she has only scored in 10 of the team's games so far this year, as Heyer makes the first to make it a 10-6 game. That was the first free throw attempt for Chaska tonight, as this one clangs off the iron, and it remains a 4-point Hawk lead with just under 10 minutes to play here in the first half. Bannigan baseline, that's off of the Hawks, and again, once the Jaguars have gotten it down there close to the painted area or into the painted area, that's where the problems have come in. Normally that's the opposite, but every time the Jaguars seem to get it down there, it's been knocked away with a pass or a blocked shot or an altered shot. But the Jaguars are also 0 for 3 from 3-point range. Sutterborg thought about the long 2, instead gives it to Roach. Roach open, but won't be able to shoot. A 3-second violation on the Jaguars. Well, we've got more basketball to come here this week on BEC-TV. Thursday night, girls basketball, Richfield at Kennedy. Hope you join us live on BEC-TV at 7 o'clock, or if you're watching a tape-delayed version of this broadcast, you can check our website, BEC-TV.org, for when that game will be shown. Always a good rivalry, Kennedy and Richfield on Thursday night. On the baseline, Reeve open and hits a three for the Hawks, who have their largest lead now up to 7, as we are coming up on the midway point of this first half. A 13-3 run for the Hawks. Remember, they were scoreless for the first nearly 4 minutes of this one as well. Sonderborg will launch a three to try to counter off the backboard and the back iron. Taken down by the Hawks, Destiny Bursch, and the freshman lobs it to the corner. A three-pointer from Lenzen hit the top of the backboard, and a nice rebound by Sonderborg. Here's a Roach out high, and the Jaguars, you see the matching headbands. Purple headbands tonight. It's Teacher Appreciation Night for the Jaguars. They had a little ceremony before the game. Each player picked their favorite teacher, and they talked about him for a little bit. And a nice way to honor the faculty here at Jefferson High School. Bursch lobs at baseline. They swing it around. Much better ball movement for Chaska here the last few minutes. Quinn to the baseline. Three-pointer. Brooke Warnert is in, number 13. No good on that three, taken down by Roach. Warnert is a 5'11 junior who averages 3.5 points per game. Anderson, she'll launch a three. No good. Looked good coming off her hand, but just missed left. Higher the rebound. Bursch on the drive, banks it off the glass, and Chaska leads by 9. And a timeout by the Jaguars. Paul Lambrecht, first timeout taken, as the Hawks on a 15-3 run to grab a 9-point lead here early in the first half. Well, we mentioned the Thursday night broadcast will be at Richfield High School. Let's talk about some more upcoming games. Hockey playoffs start in short order. Girls this week, boys the following week. And we'll have some potential games. You want to check our website, BEC-TV.org, for when those games will be shown. Now, we don't know what the boys shakes out just as of yet. There's potential play-in games and quarterfinal games next week on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. So we'll have those once those pairings come out at the end of the week. It's the winter sports season rapidly coming to a close here as we head to the midpoint of February later this week. Nice move by Bannigan, got it to Felt, baseline. That three's no good. And tipped out by Roach, they say, instead of Reef. So Chaska will get it back, leading by 9. Jefferson getting good looks here in this first half. But that offense for the Jaguars has really struggled here recently. Nice move down the lane by Quinn, missed the runner, and Mahoney with the board for the Jaguars. So far the big three hasn't killed the Jaguars. They've combined for just 7 points out of Chaska's 15. Sonderborg the drive again, tried to get all the way to the rim instead of maybe pulling up for the jump shot. Here you could have stopped right there, but instead ran right into Reef, who had good position down low to take the charge, and it looked like a good call on the replay. Just the second team foul for the Jaguars. Chaska has also committed just 2 fouls here in the first half, so neither team or player in any sort of foul difficulty as we head in the final 7 minutes of the first half. Bursch, hop, skip, and a jump. Maybe got away with a walk. She lays it in for 2. 4 points for Bursch. six different Hawks have scored in the first half for their 17 points as they lead now by 11. Jefferson had the first 3 points of the game, but the Hawks on an extended 17-3 run as we come up on 6 minutes remaining in the first half. Anderson off a screen looking to drive potentially. Now Mahoney. Skip pass, Felt. They're trying to post up Sunderborg down low, but can't quite get her settled as Felt will drive. And a timeout taken by Paul Lambrecht, who apparently did not like that offensive possession for the Jaguars. Not a lot of movement other than Sunderborg trying to get open. And so it's the second charge timeout for the Jaguars here in the first half, trailing by 11. Remaining schedule for the Jaguars: senior night on Friday here at Jefferson High School, St. Louis Park, the opponent, a 7 o'clock start, and then back-to-back road games next week. Tuesday, February 20th at Benilde. Friday the 23rd, the final game of the regular season at Chan. And playoffs will start the following week. Now, both of these teams are in Section 2, which is an 8-team section. And right now, Chaska would be the 7 seed out of 8, and Jefferson the 8th seed in that 8-team section. We'll dive into those current standings here a little bit later, as well as the rest of that section as we're back to play here as the Jaguars will see what they do after the timeout. Again, they want Sunderborg on the post up against Van Epps down low. Mahoney comes off a down screen. Little high-low action to Sunderborg amid a double team, kicks it out. Anderson wide open 3, but missed it. And the rebound tracked down by Warner as she had it tipped away by Felt. So a good look off that possession. Another wide open 3 for the Jaguars, but Anderson unable to knock it down, and the Jaguars still stuck on 6 points with under 5 minutes left in the first half. Nice pass by Birch to Van Epps. 3-pointer no, got her own miss. Kicked it back to Birch, back to Van Epps, a little 2-player game. Misses again, and off a loose ball, it goes to Sunderborg. Felt charging down the lane, tried to throw up a wild shot at it, knocked away, and it's taken away by Quinn. Baseball pass in the corner for Warner. She ran into a double team and traveled. She would have been better served, perhaps, to take that corner 3 as she exits in favor of Grothy, who's back in for the Hawks. Leading by 11 with 4:11 left in the first half. Mahoney down low to find Bannigan. Double team, got it to Sunderborg along 2. Connects for Sam Sunderborg. Just the third made field goal for the Jaguars in the half as the lead is 9. That collapsing Hawk defense, they're forcing Jefferson to make outside jumpers tonight, and so far just 2 have gone in. Quinn to Birch. Down low, nice feed, higher up and in. Second field goal for Mallory Higher, and it's back to an 11-point Chaska lead. You see the nice action there by Higher, the 8th grader. Sunderborg open, nice pump fake down the lane, and it poked away, or did she lose it? It was poked away by Chaska. Out of bounds with 2:58 remaining in the half. Jefferson will make a couple of subs. Number 43, Addison Harper, a senior, enters, and the other senior we haven't seen also enters, Janaea Arnoldi, a 5'11 senior, number 15, with the ball now, double teamed by the Hawks, and had it stolen by Heyer. Off the hands of Van Epps, taken away by Anderson. Here's her speed in the open floor with the left hand. That's what she can do. Caroline Anderson. Fast break buckets always help when that offensive half-court game is struggling. So a good idea by Anderson to cut the Hawk lead to 10 with 2.5 minutes left in the half. High low to Heyer. Had it blocked from behind. Arnoldi, maybe not the player you want in the open floor. She gives way. There's the nice pull-up, and getting it to go is the senior Harper, co-captain. That's what I was speaking of a moment ago. Instead of driving all the way, just pull up for that little jumper. That's what Harper did that time. And she got the shooter's touch to cut that Chaska lead to 7. A three-pointer banked in by Van Epps. Unlucky break there for the Jaguars. They had some momentum going until that three-pointer by Van Epps to make it a double-digit Hawk lead with 1:35 left in the half. Bannigan off the glass. So Claire Bannigan, back-to-back buckets. Again, you see her, it's not quite a pull-up, but she doesn't try to get all the way to the rim. She arcs it there before the shot-blocking presence can get there. 22-14 Chaska. Heyer, an offensive rebound down low. Got it to Bursch, and she was fouled in the lane by Harper. And 2 free throws coming for the freshman point guard, Destiny Bursch, who led Chaska last time these teams played with 18 points. Chaska trying for a Bloomington sweep this season. They've already swept the season series with Kennedy, and they can do the same thing to Jefferson with a win tonight. Remember, this is a team with just 7 wins this year, but 3 of them have come against Bloomington schools. Bursch gets the second to go. 5 points for her in the first half. Chaska leading 23-14. Final minute of play here in the first half. Harper had it partially blocked on a nice reaching play by Lenzen as Quinn finds Bursch up ahead. Bursch slows it down. Still a lot of time left. 45 seconds for Chaska. Here's Quinn, double team by the Jaguars. They have fouls to give, by the way. 3 of them if they so choose. On the baseline, step back Warner at the side of the backboard. Heyer had it blocked, and Bannigan the rebound. Still plenty of time here for Jefferson, 15 seconds. Anderson sends it back to Bannigan. She checks the clock, sees there's still 10 seconds, and hands to Sunderborg. Now they've got to get moving with 5. That one's going to be well short by Anderson. Quinn going to launch from three-quarter court. It was a decent attempt that hit the underside of the basket. As time expires here at the end of the first half, the Hawks using a 17-3 run early to take control of this one. Jefferson able to chip into the lead a little bit, but the Jaguars trail by 9 here at the end of the first half. For the Hawks, 3 players with 5 points. Heyer, Van Epps, and Bursch, the big 3 trio for them, combining for 15 of the 23 for the Hawks, and for the Jaguars leading them, the 5 points for their leading scorer, Caroline Anderson. Jefferson trails at 23-14 at the break. We will be back to Jefferson High School for the second half here on BEC-TV. Stick around. Hope you're enjoying your Tuesday night live girls basketball here in the Metro West as the Hawks lead it by 9. Back at Jefferson High School, second half about ready to tip off as the Jaguars trailing Chaska tonight 23-14. Josh Powers alongside our crew here on a Tuesday night here in the west side of Bloomington. The Hawks trying for their 6th win in their last 8 games. It would move them to 8-15, but it would also move them to 7-4 in conference, which would be 3rd right now behind Chanhassen and Cooper. Cooper, by the way, what a season they're having. They're likely going to win the league. They have a 2-game lead on Chanhassen at 10-0 in conference, 19-2 overall for the Cooper Hawks, having a terrific year. Jefferson trying for their 3rd win in conference. It would be their 9th victory overall. But they will have to come from behind here, trailing by 11, as we're about ready to get this second half underway. And into senior co-captain Claire Bannigan, number 4 for the Jaguars, who had 2 first-half points. Mahoney on the inside, cleanly stripped by the 8th grader Heyer. Bursch bumped from behind. First foul of the second half. Nobody in foul trouble so far. That's the second on Bannigan. And we classify trouble as at least 3 at this point. Quick substitution. Addison Harper in for Mahoney, as Harper had a nice first half for the Jaguars, scored a basket, made several other plays in limited action. Here's Quinn, skips it across to Van Epps. Chaska was able to hit a trio of 3-pointers in the first half. Nice rebound by Bursch, steps into the baseline jumper and got the roll. Destiny Bursch with 7 points. Leading the Hawks back up by 11. She had 18 against Jefferson earlier this year. Here's Bannigan guarded by Bursch. Anderson for 3. No good. Rebound Bursch. The Jaguars did not hit a 3-pointer in the first half. It's been one of their struggles all season offensively. Heyer working amid traffic down low. 7 points for her now, and the Hawks have come out and scored on their first 2 possessions to open the second half, now leading by 13. Here's Anderson, drives through, Harper. Backdoor action, Anderson, and kind of stumbled as she attempted that layup and ended up short, taken down by Van Epps. Bursch whips it down a little bit too high, intended for Mallory Heyer, and a Chaska turnover. Remember, they had a whole bunch of turnovers early. They had 6 consecutive possessions end in turnovers early in the first half. The Jaguars quickly the other way. And it's Caroline Anderson inside Mahoney. Turns on Heyer, but left it short. And a jump ball there. That was a fortunate call for the Jaguars as Mahoney was able to tie up Chaska down low, but the arrow will give it back to the Hawks with 15:40 remaining here in the second half. We'll be at Kennedy High School on Thursday, Richfield and Kennedy in girls basketball. Our next broadcast. On the inside, Heyer pushed from behind, they say a late whistle, but they call it on Logan Mahoney. Second foul for Jefferson in the half, the first on Mahoney, and Mallory Heyer to the free throw line for 2. First free throw good. Chaska was 2 out of 4 from the line in the first half. Jefferson also 2 out of 4. And Heyer now leads her team with 9 points. She averages 13.5 points per game. this Hawk team, if these players remain in their program, it is just going to get better and better over these next 4 years with freshman Bursch and freshman Van Epps and 8th grader Heyer, their 3 leading scorers. The Hawks now in a zone. Inside, Mahoney, unable to finish but fouled by Heyer. Nice bounce pass there by Alyssa Felt. As Mahoney there in better position. Second foul on Marissa Grothy. And Logan Mahoney with her second point of the night. Third leading scorer for the Jaguars. That one somehow spun out over to Chaska. Mentioned third leading scorer with 7.4 points per game. Just ahead of Bannigan. 29-15 Chaska, 15 minutes remaining. Van Epps to Grothy at the elbow. And Destiny Bursch finds Heyer at the free throw line. Nice defense by Felt, but they leave Van Epps. Air ball. And Quinn, too far for her to reach. Good defense there from Alyssa Felt. Really challenged Heyer right as she caught the ball at the lane. Sonderborg, somebody needs a helper. Mahoney comes out to high. Mahoney, another touch. Blocked by Heyer, just straight up there. Blocking Mahoney. Great defense by Mallory Heyer. Mahoney a little frustrated. She has had plenty of touches in the lane as we've documented all night. Jefferson's been able to get the ball in the painted area quite frequently here, but whether it be the running finishes that they're trying to get up and off the window for baskets or the post-up moves, the shots are being deflected and altered by the bigs inside, most notably Heyer and Grothy down low. A steal by Anderson and a turnover for the Hawks. So Mahoney goes out for Jefferson, replaced by Janaea Arnoldi. Jefferson trailing by 14. They trailed by 9 at the half. Arnoldi for 3, and she hits it. The first triple of the night for the Jaguars comes from Janaea Arnoldi, who has scored just 13 points this year. Sonderborg did not quite get over in time. You be the judge here on the replay. We'll just see the tail, and that was a close one. Very tough to see. Quinn with the left hand gets it. Veronica Quinn. Third foul on Bannigan. She's the first player with 3 points tonight. Veronica Quinn, a chance for a 3-point play. Previous high for her in a game this season was 6. She has 4 tonight for Chaska. 31-18, Alyssa Felt unable to cut into the lead. Taken down by Heyer. Here's Bursch. Sends it to Quinn, and now Heyer posting up Arnoldi, unable to get it to go, and the rebound taken by Elizabeth Cornell, who's entered inside to Heyer. That basket counts, and a foul. A late whistle on Feld, who they're going to say undercut Heyer at the end of that basket. That is the 6th team foul on the Jaguars already in this half. So Chaska shooting free throws the rest of the way. We still have 12:52 remaining. And the Hawks have their biggest lead right now at 15. Higher up to a dozen points. Here's Anderson around the defensive reef and got fouled going to the bucket. Just that first quick step, as we see so often with Anderson. And that's just the first foul on Higher. So Caroline Anderson, 2 free throws. That one's spinning out. 5 points for her, all in the first half. And the second one good for the Jaguars' leading scorer. Now 4 for 8 from the free throw line is Jefferson in this one. 34-19, 12:40 to play. Reef open for 3, and it's good. Danny Reef. Matching the 3 from Janaea Arnoldi. As Bannigan launches from distance, and a foul on Felt will put the Jaguars over the bonus. Now neither team had possession during the foul, so no free throws. Now they will say a 1-and-1, as they're going to say that Chaska had possession of it at the time of the foul, so while 1-and-1 here for Grace Olson. Hits the back of the rim, taken down by Felt, quickly ahead to Roach. In the front court, guarded by Reef. Chaska by 18 as we near the 12-minute mark. Anderson, another quick first step, pass deflected by Higher, and lost out of bounds. We'll keep it with Jefferson, as Cornell unable to keep it in. Elizabeth Cornell did not see first half action. She's a 6'1 junior, averaging 2.4 points per game. Number 20 in white. Felt for 3, it's short. Rebound Mahoney, goes up with it and blocked again. If Mahoney just goes for the jumper, she will be able to get this off. Instead, she tries to take an extra step there and had it blocked by the freshman Bursch. Wide open baseline, Lauren Snyder. Unable to find the bottom. Roach tracks it down. And nice behind the back dribble there by Anderson. That threw Bursch off target, and the reach-in foul for Destiny Bursch. That's the 3rd foul of the half on Chaska. In the corner, Snyder open for 3 off the back of the rim. Bursch the rebound. She tries to go behind the back, and she'll settle it down to Olsen. Chaska leading by 18. It's their largest lead right now. They led by 9 at the half. Trying to sweep the Bloomington teams this season. They've already scored 2 wins over Kennedy and 1 on Jefferson. Bursch floater too strong. Felt trying to charge at the basket, had it taken away by Bursch. And she will slow it up a little bit. Drops it down low, Cornell. Back to Reef, another 3 is good for Danny Reef. It's the 5th triple of the game for Chaska. And timeout Jefferson with the Hawks leading now by 21 at 40-19. With 10:50 remaining here in this second half. Let's dive into the Section 2 standings. Both teams in this section. Minnetonka right now occupying the top spot according to the QRF at just 12-9 this year. So really, from top to bottom, not very good records overall for any of these teams. You got Eden Prairie at 13-9. Prior Lake at 11-11, they're 3rd. Edina at 11 and 10 is fourth. Chan at 11 and 11 is fifth. And you have Shakopee at 9 and 13. They're sixth. And then Chaska and Jefferson. The Hawks could very easily move up a bunch here. They're right now 42nd in the QRF overall in 4A. But you've got Edina in fourth spot, so 3 places ahead. They're just 31st, so there's not a lot of teams in between those two. And Shakopee right now 40th. So the Hawks very easily could move up with a strong finish. It'll be difficult for Jefferson. They're sitting at 52nd overall in the QRF. That's 10 full places behind Chaska for 7th. And with just 3 games left after tonight, especially if Chaska holds on to win this one, that would be a difficult task for the Jaguars, but anybody's game in that Section 2. As Minnetonka and actually Eden Prairie the best record at 4 games over 500. So with 10.5 minutes remaining, Jefferson will try to cut into this 21-point lead. In the corner, Anderson. Looked like a reach-in foul there by Cornell. They let go. Anderson for 3. And it finds the bottom of the net. Caroline Anderson up to 9 points. It's the second Jaguar 3 of the game as Harper almost able to come away with a defensive steal. Good hustle there by senior co-captain Addison Harper. Jefferson will certainly be on the road for the quarterfinal round. Potential matchup either with Minnetonka or Eden Prairie. Minnetonka has a pretty substantial lead in the points, 230 to 192. They're going to be difficult to catch here down the stretch. That's the likely opponent for the Jaguars. Free throw line jumper, no good for Olsen. 18-point lead, Anderson will try another long distance shot and hit it. It's a 2 for Caroline Anderson. Heating up. Jefferson a quick 5-0 run. Olsen stopping baseline. And a loose ball. Anderson fighting for it. Kicked though by Lauren Snyder. Didn't try to kick it, just happened to hit her foot, but still an infraction on the Jaguars with 9:24 remaining. Lobbed over the top to Heyer. Misses with the left hand. And a rebound to Van Epps. Quinn tying her season high in points with that basket. She has been a bonus for Chaska here tonight. 42-24, that stops the Jaguars' mini run of 5. Bannigan, she can hit that shot. That one's short though. Nice rebound by the freshman Van Epps. Trapped in a low risk pass, or low percentage, high risk pass. Somehow found the hands of Danny Reef, who was fouled. And a 1-and-1 for Reef as the Jaguars committing their 8th team foul of the half. Reef connects. 6 points for her. That's above her average. Correction, 7 points as she back rims that one and tracks it down. Back to Quinn with 8:40 remaining. Bannigan with a steal, and she was fouled. She comes up holding her left hand. I think just a little floor burn there for the Jaguar co-captain. 4th foul on Chaska here in the half. 8:36 remaining. Final home game of the season for Jefferson on Friday night against St. Louis Park. Into Sunderborg, looked like it was kicked, and it was. Nicole Lenzen with the kick ball. Two very young teams tonight, Jefferson and Chaska, 3 seniors each. That shot no good by Bannigan, and it touched Reef, who was standing out of bounds. So the Jaguars get it back as Felt comes back in for Roach, and she'll inbound baseline for the Jaguars. Into Felt, working on Reef, and the strength from Alyssa Felt, just pushing Reef out of the way. Nicely done there from Felt, who had a nice game last week against Kennedy. First 2 points for her tonight. 43-26, Chaska with 7:50 remaining. Quinn to Van Epps, Reef to Quinn, nice steal by Mahoney, fronting the 8th grader Mallory Heyer. Anderson for 3, just short. That would have been 3 makes from pretty deep in a row there for Anderson. Quinn thinks better of a drive and backs it out. Here's Van Epps. Finding Lenzen, and now in the corner, Reef no. Heyer the rebound, poked away by Bannigan as Anderson saves it. With 7 minutes remaining. Junior captain Sam Sonnerborg. Anderson feeling hot right now. Hits another 3. 9 second half points for Anderson, who has a game high 14. And it's right at her season average at 14.5 points per game. This is just a 14-point game. There's still 6:25 remaining. The Jaguars can force some turnovers here and keep connecting from outside. Not out of this yet. They were down by 18. A double team in the corner and a steal by Felt. Felt quickly into the front court and had it poked away from behind as it's picked up by Lenzen, and then a steal by Anderson. Bannigan to the basket with the left hand. Jefferson back to within a dozen with some hustle plays. Felt cuts off Lenzen as a timeout taken by Tara Seifert. So the Jaguars were down 18, but not anymore. They've cut it to a dozen thanks to some nice defensive plays and the outside shooting of Caroline Anderson, who has a couple of 3-pointers and a foot on the line 2-pointer here in the second half. And still plenty of time remaining in this one. We'll be at Kennedy High School on Thursday. Richfield and Kennedy should be a good battle. We'll have the girls basketball playoffs in a couple of weeks on BEC-TV. Again, you want to check our website, bec.org, for our upcoming programming. Girls hockey playoffs getting underway this week. Nice catch by Van Epps off the rebound. There's the website, bec.tv.org. Van Epps, a little screen. Tough shot down the lane, left it short. Blocked by Harper. A 3-ball, a little bit short, and a foul the other way on Grothy as she shoved a Jaguar out of the way. So Jefferson gets it back down 12, still 5:21 remaining. Chaska will go to a little full court look at least anyway, maybe some pressure, we'll see. Jefferson breaks it pretty quickly. Anderson, can she do it again? That one wide left, but tracked down the rebound, at least a jump ball of it anyway. Once again, the hustle from Anderson. You see just sprinting around the Chaska player right there to get the basketball. The arrow keeps it with Jefferson. Felt wanting the team to move on that inbounds play. Mahoney from way deep rattles it in. The lead trimmed in half from the original margin of 18 as Bannigan with a steal. Felt the loose ball. She goes in for 2. The lead down to 7. And remember, all these young players for Chaska, leading scorers, 2 freshmen and an 8th grader. One of them with it right now in Bursch, and she's bumped. It'll be the last 1-and-1 for Chaska. What a run here by the Jaguars. Actually, it was a 21-point game at 40-19. Since then, Jefferson on a 17-3 run. And a 1-and-1 for Destiny Bursch, who has not been to the line here in the second half. She split a pair back in the first half. That one wide to the right. Rebound Sonnerborg. Here's Bannigan. Jefferson with the momentum and some confidence offensively. A high screen from Mahoney. Bannigan for 3, no. Felt had a chance at it, and the rebound taken by Van Epps. Here's Olsen into the front court with 4:15 remaining. Plenty of time here for the Jaguars. Don't need to panic defensively. They can play straight up. Here's passing on that one. Van Epps, it looked like she was going to shoot. Double team on Olsen. 4 minutes to go. Van Epps, left-handed, short, but was fouled by Mahoney. Good possession from the Hawks. You see the reach in there, pretty obvious foul. Good possession by Chaska. They were able to withstand the pressure out high and get a good look down low. So Kaylee Van Epps has not scored in a while. She had 5 early points in the game. That was the first point since, averaging 11.6 points per game, the freshman. Second one rims out at 8-point. Chaska advantage with 3:49 remaining. Jefferson trailed by 21 earlier in this half. Bannigan pulls up at the elbow and connects. How many times have we called for the pull-up jumper today? There's Bannigan hitting. It's a 6-point game, and they break the press. And a key basket there from the 8th grader Heyer. Make it 46-38. Sonnerborg, a wild 3, no good. Here's Bursch, calm under pressure, finding Heyer. Baseline, that one no good. Bannigan controls. Chaska, a quick shot there, leading by 8. Sonnerborg, another pull-up. That one short, got her own miss though. Bannigan for 3. That one too strong. Sonnerborg tracked it down. Where's the foul there? Mahoney launches for 3, no. As Olsen takes that one down. Little helter-skelter right now for the Hawks, leading by 8. Jefferson a couple of chances to trim the lead. And Tara Seifer was calling for a timeout instead. Jefferson commits a foul. So double bonus time. That's the 4th foul on Alyssa Felt. And Jefferson will take a timeout with 2:36 remaining. If you're just joining us, welcome inside Jefferson High School, live on BEC-TV. Girls basketball tonight. Chaska trying for their 6th win in their last 8 games. They led by 21 midway through the second half at 40-21 since then, or 40-19, excuse me. Since then, Jefferson on a 19-6 run thanks to some outside shooting. Caroline Anderson leading the charge for the Jaguars with 14 points tonight, helping the Jaguars get back into it. They cut the lead to as little as 6, and it's currently an 8-point Hawk lead as we're inside the 3-minute mark. Here's second half. Leading the way for the Hawks is that trio of youth, as we've talked about all night. Destiny Birch, the freshman point guard, is 7. The freshman forward, Kaylee Van Epps, was 6. And then a big night for the 8th grade center, Mallory Heyer, with 14 points, matching the total from Caroline Anderson on the other side for the Jaguars. So as we mentioned, going into the timeout, a double bonus situation the rest of the way for Chaska. So 2 shots here for Birch, as the freshman, who's been pretty calm here in this second half, gets that one to go. Led the way for Chaska in the first meeting between the two with 18 points. She misses the second. 9-point lead, 2.5 minutes remaining. Bannigan, nice down screen by Felt to wall off the defense. As Bannigan scores, she's up to 8 points. 7-point Chaska lead. 2:15 to go, nearly stolen by Sonneborg. Heyer able to reclaim, and Chaska backs it out with 2:10 remaining. Felt playing with 4 fouls. Here's Quinn with 2 minutes to go. Got it over to Birch, who almost stepped into the backcourt. The Hawks still with 3 timeouts left, so if they get in trouble, they could use one. That's deflected off of the leg of Bannigan and out of play with 1:47. Olsen will inbound. Running out of options. Heyer, a nice catch. Blocked, though, from behind by Mahoney. That pass almost forced her to take a shot, and she was too far under the basket. Felt to Mahoney. Down the lane with the left. Had it blocked again by Heyer. Van Epps double teamed, and now would be a good time for a timeout. As I say that, Tara Seifert agrees. Before a turnover, you see her in the background there calling for the timeout as she gets the officials' attention. Chaska with 2 left as they lead by 7. The Jaguars had a possession there to cut it to a 2-score game, but Mahoney's shot was blocked. Jefferson trying to come from 21 down here in the second half. If nothing else, it's been the kind of effort and urgency is probably the good word for it that you'd want to see if you're head coach Paul Lamprecht in his first season. Taking over for Andy Meinhardt, 10 years here at Jefferson High School. Moving on to one of the traveling prep programs across the state. Jefferson still not out of bullets yet here in this one. Their pressure has forced some Chaska mistakes here during this run, cutting a 21-point lead to 7. Feld stays in the game, playing with 4 fouls for the Jaguars as Olsen inbounds. Lobs it to Van Epps, and they quickly break the pressure. Van Epps will attempt the shot and miss off the glass. Sonneborg the rebound. Plenty of time for the Jaguars. Don't need to rush too quickly. Still 1:15. Bannigan goes down the lane, blocked by Heyer. The 8th grader has been the key player tonight for Chaska with 14 points. Now make it 16, and all the defense she's shown. And how about that sequence? The block on one end for Heyer and the finish on the other. As that shot no good from Anderson, and now the Hawks with under a minute left in control, up 9. Anderson deflects that one, but Olsen maintains possession. Chaska had the arrow anyway as Olsen fouls, and it's a 2-shot situation, as we mentioned, as the Jaguars over the double bonus. As that's the 4th now on Mahoney with exactly 40 seconds remaining. So go back to that sequence. The Jaguars had a chance to cut it to 5, but the block on one end for Higher and then finishing in transition on the other end, that may have just put this one away. Olsen hits the back end to make it a 10-point Hawk lead with 40 to play. Now the Jaguars have to move quickly. Anderson for 3, that's short. As she always does, goes after the loose ball, tracks it down, no good again. Felt the rebound put back, and a timeout. Jefferson, they have one left. So the Jaguars getting second and third chances on that possession. Felt all 6 of her points here in the second half, an 8-point Hawk advantage. Jefferson with 1 timeout remaining, Chaska 2 timeouts remaining, as the Hawks have the arrow in the event of a jump ball. Good fight here by the Jaguars down the stretch. They trailed by 21 with 10 minutes remaining. Cut it to as little as 6, but that's as close as they've been able to get it. Jefferson finishes with St. Louis Park here at home on Friday, then back-to-back road games next week. Benilde and Chanhassen, the opponents. Then they'll start postseason play, likely opponent Minnetonka in the first round, currently the number 1 seed in Section 2, but just sitting at 12-9 overall. So you never know what can happen when you get to that postseason tournament. Chaska right now would play Eden Prairie if the seedings hold, but they could move up tonight with a win. They are not far behind Shakopee at all for that 6th seed. That should be a travel, and it is. Good defense by the Jaguars, 24.6 seconds left as they look for a quick basket. Down 8. Mahoney to Anderson. Back to Logan. Just needs to try to put it up. No space yet. Anderson off a screen will fire. Jefferson wanting the foul, but it was pretty good defense by the Hawks there. As they get it to Bursch, ahead to the 8th grader who's had the banner night, Mallory Higher, now 18 points. Will finish this one off for the Hawks, who had to withstand a Jaguar rally in the second half. You gotta love the effort from the Jaguars. And it's sometimes difficult to play with that effort, having lost 9 out of their last 10, but the Jaguars certainly showing fight tonight. They cut a 21-point deficit down to 6, but Chaska had enough down the stretch, led by Mallory Higher, a game-high 18 points tonight for the 8th grader for the Hawks, who now move to 8-15 overall, and an impressive 7-4 in the Metro West, good enough for 3rd place in the league. Jefferson falling to 8-14 overall, 2-9 in Metro West play. Caroline Anderson leading the Jaguars with 14 points tonight. Claire Bannigan adding 8 for the senior co-captain. Jefferson next will play St. Louis Park senior night for the Jaguars on Friday. And for Chaska, they have Benilde St. Margaret at home on Friday night. Hope you enjoyed this one tonight. Chaska wins at 52-42. For our crew, this is Josh Powers saying good night from Jefferson High School.